It's really a joy to spend these last moments of the year listening to Master, listening to Swamiji, feeling their presence with us, and also, of course, being all of us together. I'm reflecting back to the first New Year's Eve that we ever had, spiritual New Year's Eve. Some people came just sold on the name alone, because they said with Sairam, I've had many other kinds of New Year's Eve. He was often working on New Year's Eve, and so it was nice to have a spiritual New Year's Eve. Some people were asking, what is it? We said, you just come. It'll be spiritual. And there's a deep feeling behind that, because it's very natural at the end of the year, everybody feels this probably to some extent, that it's a chance to start over. It's a chance to start anew. We have this sense of hopefulness, this sense of new life, of rebirth. In fact, this is good and proper for the new year, but interestingly, in ancient civilizations, of which India is one, the ancient and modern, the New Year was really done at the first day of spring. And the first day of spring is, March, the equinox, March, whatever it is, 21st, 22nd, is associated with new, especially in other climates, new things growing, the sort of warm weather, warmer than it was. There's a sort of a freshness. It's really a time of youth. And so that really fits more the spirit of the new year. So if you can tune into that, then it'll help. It sort of accidentally got thrown back into this time of the calendar. I'm not sure exactly how. And the little hint of that is even in this month. This month's name is December, right, of course, and I think still, yeah. And I'm testing to see if you're meditating, listening, and awake. December, right? DEC, right? What is that an abbreviation for? For what number? For 10. But it's the 12th month, you see? So something's wrong there, and the logic continues to be wrong. November, October, they're all wrong. They're off by 2 months. And if you sort of then would postpone the new year, 2 months from January would be March. So anyway, maybe we'll fix that in the next yoga or something. But in any case, the point is this urge to start over again, with what we know now, with what I've learned, let me rise to new heights, let me break free from whatever troubles I've been in. We need that. Master said that we get that to some extent every day in sleep. That he said you wouldn't be able to stand life without the break, that the rest that sleep gives you, just not only for the senses to stop having to, constantly be stimulated and to stimulate us, therefore, but also just from all our thoughts, worries, troubles, just check out for a little while and then wake up again. But as he points out, that when we go to sleep, we don't suddenly wake up and have become an angel. We are just the same as what we were when we went to sleep. He said, so it is in a new life, that we don't suddenly leap forward in between lives, that we are picking up where we left off. So if you ever wonder about your past life and are curious about it, you can more or less look at this life and say it was pretty much like this, except I didn't know the things that I know now. Maybe it's not even clear. Sometimes we have a deep insight that maybe we've had before, but we just are remembering it now. That's a feeling many of us get when we come onto the spiritual path. Before the spiritual path, there's sort of a fog or a compass, that I have a compass and I know it's pointing somewhere, but I don't know where it's pointing. That's the problem. And I check other people with their compasses, and they're having the same problem, or their compasses are all pointing away from me. And so we can feel lost until we pick up life by the right thread, to mix the metaphor terribly. We are needing direction. And then once we get that sense of direction, then each new year becomes more and more meaningful. We can look back, for example, on the amount that we've learned from introspection, from life has become so much richer. And our happiness level, just through meditation, our peace, becomes so much more. We're not always begging that maybe this year I could have some peace. We've had a lot of peace, but of course we would like more. And so it's very nice then to have a sense of marking the years of meaning, of meaningful living, as opposed to, again, just wandering in the pre-compass days, hoping that I'll accidentally bump into some meaning and have the good sense to recognize it. And so the other thing that really is interesting, though, is that as we mark the years, I was speaking of different incarnations, we could say, how many New Years have we celebrated? And okay, this year I will leave everything in the past, and this new year I will start afresh. And so, Master's giving us the same message from 1938. And so we can think of 2018, 17, 2001, and we can go back and kind of, what is actually behind the thrust of every new year? But it really is, again, like Master was saying, like a new incarnation. Every time we arrive in a new incarnation, our job is to build on the success, the understanding, the strengthening of the past and take that to greater and greater heights. And so we should welcome this opportunity to move forward, to take whatever God has in mind for us on the platter this year, to say, fine, God, you're giving it to me because I'm ready for it. Once Swamiji was going through a difficult test, and he said, I'm grateful that Divine Mother feels that I can handle this kind of a test. I'm grateful that she's taking such an interest in my life. As Master said once, I think Divine Mother likes to keep my life interesting. This was during a very difficult test he went through. And so, in this same way, let us really welcome this new year with an open heart, with a brave expectation, with courage. Remember, we don't get strength only from our successes. We get a lot of strength through going through a very difficult time and surviving. Why does that give us strength? Because then we're no longer afraid of such things. Not only that particular test, whatever it was, but even tests like it, they start to remind you, let's see, I remember being in 400 C before degrees. This is kind of like that. Okay, I lived through that, I'll live through this. And then not only do we become stronger in ourselves, but it allows us to help others who have gone through that similar test or tests like that. Because we say, listen, I've got scars too to show you. Swamiji was told by someone, your songs are all happy. And you can write happy songs because you've never suffered. And Swamiji said, it's because I've suffered that I can write happy songs, that I've earned the right to create happy songs. And so it's really true. Swamiji has a line in one of his songs, joy must sing in the night to face change unafraid. In order to have the courage to face change and be unafraid, we have to learn how to sing in the night. We can cry in the night, we can hide in the night, we can cover our heads with the pillow and hope that the night will go away. But when we learn to sing, like we sang that beautiful song, I Live Without Fear, that's a song to sing in the night. And then we will be able to face anything. As Master said, and you heard it, you must stand unshaken amidst the crash of breaking worlds. I find that goes through my head a lot. I face the washing machine and the washing machine is not working and the clothes are piling up, just to pick a random example. And I try all the things I know and none of it works and I can start to feel tense because it's all, and then I think, you must stand unshaken amidst the crash of breaking worlds. Is this the crash of a... Washing machines. There you have it. This is a breaking washing machine. This is not even the whole house or the whole city or the whole world, nothing. So I should be able to stand unshaken amidst this. I wish the washing machine would do a little shaking and, but anyway, oh well. You can find that whatever we have to go through, it doesn't quite qualify as the crash of a breaking world. And if it does, well, hang on, because then that'll be the end. So then we'll all talk about it afterwards in the astral world. So the last thing then to remember is that even though we are greeting each year with joy, with an open heart, with courage, or with sort of suspicion, but let it be joyful suspicion. Say, I'm worried about this situation, and I'm looking forward to all the surprise joys God has in store for me this year. And again, if you ever are doubtful of that, just look back to the year before. Think of what you know now about 2019 that you had no idea going into. Even looking at what we've all done together, the experiences we ourselves have shared here in this temple. It's quite a lot. And trips we've gone on together, just to simple things, pilgrimages and so on. Really joyful. The Christmas meditation, you can just pick it up by that dimension and see what joy there has been. As Master said, what joy I have passed. And so we can really feel that. And so it's really an inspiration, and yet just to build and build and build is wonderful. But remember, we're also supposed to, if we look at it according to incarnations, we are building and building in order to achieve escape velocity, in order to exit, in order to get out, in order to graduate. Some of us are in 107th standard. Some of us are in 121st standard. The problem is there's no number that you get to and then that's it. You can get out at any time if you just take the exam and pass. And so, as Master said, don't get mixed up in this world. It's God's world, it's not our world. And so take care of others who are given to you by God to take care of. Love them for God's sake, for God in them, for God through you. But then joyfully say to God, come into my heart completely and fill me with your bliss so that we can all be free in this lifetime. God bless you.